Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Tarot and Oracle for the Soul. This week I'm going to do a walkthrough comparison of the two decks and we'll see how similar they are. And then I'll talk about which one is my favorite and which one might meet your needs. I know I enjoy watching comparison videos, especially when there's so many decks out there that have the same theme or the same artist and they're very similar, and you only have so much money and you don't want to buy everything and you want to try it out first. So hopefully this helps. I did a full walkthrough of each one of these already, but this time it will be comparing the two. So if you care about like the design of the boxes, the Psychic Tarot has artwork on the inside of their box. The Psychic Tarot for the Heart has nothing. Okay, so it comes with the same amount of cards for each. The tarot for the Psychic Heart is in green for the heart chakra, and the Psychic Tarot is in like a violet indigo to represent the crown chakra. So I think that's pretty cool. And there's that design again at the bottom of the box. We'll look through the guidebooks, which I'm not the biggest fan of these guidebooks. I really don't use the guidebooks, but let's look and see how many pages this is. So it's 174 pages, and then you have about the author, John Holland. So we have about the tarot consultant, we have about the artist, and then about the author. Sorry, that's actually about the consultant. So without adding the recommended resources, it's 170 pages. So let's take a look at the Psychic Tarot. All right, so the Psychic Tarot is 166 pages, and then the recommended resources is on page 167. And then we have about the artist, about the author, and we don't have anything about the consultant, which I find that interesting here. I'll do it like this. I need more hands. So of course we have always the other Hay House products by John Holland. Now the Psychic Tarot came out in 2007 and the Psychic Heart came out 7 years later in 2014. Now you can see, I'm gonna kind of overlap it. We have introduction and understanding the card structure, getting started, card spread, psychic development, color interpretations, numerological meanings, and symbols and images. All the same. Now, the keywords that he uses for the major arcana have changed. They're different in each deck. And as you can see, when we get to the minor arcana cards, this just says physical red. It doesn't say that it's the pentacles or coins. And again, we have the keywords have changed. And for emotions, so I gotta change the page. Now I have to say, I like the font in the Psychic Tarot so much better. I like the bold. This is a little light and it's not showing up as well. But you get the gist of it in the original. The first one that he did. It says emotions green border, and this says green border cups. And then we have the mental indigo border, and this says mental indigo border swords. So again, the keywords on the card have changed, but it still conveys the same message. Spirit violet is wands, and then in both we have the chakra cards and then recommended resources. And then of course in this one is just about the artist and then the author, and this one has the tarot consultant. And I truly, as I said in one of my other walkthroughs, I swear it's the same, but I guess not. So this is a different intro than this one. And in the Psychic Heart, we have a quote. It says, "The most important thing in life is to learn how to give out love and to let it come in." And that's by Maury Swartz. That's a really good quote, because if we can't accept love, how can we be in love, right? And sometimes learning how to accept love is the hardest. Now, the intro in the Psychic Heart Tarot is a couple pages longer. than in the Psychic Tarot. And again, the font is different. I'm really not a fan of that font. And then John Holland breaks down, explaining that there are 22 major arcana cards, and then the minor cards, 36, but that he breaks it down from 1 to 9. Let's see, it kind of looks like it's the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same info. As you can see, you have the physical and physical, emotions, mental, and spirit. And then we have the chakra cards. And what do you want to bet? It's getting started. Yep. So getting started. And then we get to card spreads. So in the Psychic Tarot, we have a single card reading and we have a single card reading. Then we have the 3-card spread, which if you guys watch my original channel, Smart Reiki and Tarot for the Soul, 3-card spread is what I do for the free readings. And I feel like you can get a lot of information from a 3-card spread. We have a 5-card spread. In this one, we have blessings and challenges. This one, we have issue, action, and outcome, which are not included in the psychic. And then we have yearly forecast for both. And then they both talk about psychic development. You have clear audience. Okay, so he kind of switched up. He has clear audience on this one, and this is clear sentience, and then clear audience. So, but it's all the same. You have clear audience, clairvoyance. He has clairsentience, clear audience, clairvoyance, clairsentience right here. And then we have the color interpretation and color interpretation. And it gives you the colors. Then we have the numerological meanings and the numbers 1 through 9, and then symbols and images. And so this is the same. So really I'm seeing the only thing that's really different is there's a couple extra spreads in the Psychic card, and his intro is a little longer. And of course the major arcanas have, like in the Psychic it says new beginnings, and this is trust, which when you're starting on the Fool's journey in life, it is a new beginning, and you also have to have trust, and you have to have faith, and you have to have courage, and you have to be a little optimistic, a little naive as well. All of those things. So any of those keywords are great. Now, what I do like about with the Psychic heart is there is an affirmation included, and then of course it still says it's the Fool. The little blurbs are just, they're not great. So let me read you what the manifest cards states in the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. Keywords: act, create, focus, magic, clarity, intent. This is a time of great power for you. The manifest card is here to tell you that anything is possible. You have all the tools at your disposal to create whatever you desire. You have a variety of tools that can be put to good use. The ability to love unconditionally, to support, to cherish, to listen, to understand, to forgive, to be kind, to be joyful, and even to be silly. All of these are useful tools in managing affairs of the heart. Take some time to determine what your best tools are so that you can use them to work your own unique brand of magic around relationships. Before using these tools to manifest your desire, take some time to be clear on exactly what you want. A magician is always focused on his or her intent before working magic. You have the ability to manifest what you desire now, so take a moment so there's total clarity. What do you truly need and want? Is it in your highest good? Is it in the highest good of the other person? Will it harm anyone? Magic and manifestation are powerful. When you come from a place of love, you will generate love. Be clear, be honest, be in your intent, and take action to manifest your heart's desires. You have what it takes to achieve this. Affirmation: I use my power to manifest deliberately and with clear intent. So I feel like this is really good if you are working through issues with relationships, even if that relationship is with yourself. There's a lot of great kind of insight in here, but I don't really use the book. Even when I first started using this deck, I really didn't use the book. It's just very intuitive. I didn't need to come and read this, but the affirmation is a nice little touch. I do like that. Now I'll read you one for the Psychic Tarot. Sorry if that wasn't quite in the screen, I didn't realize. Okay, this card is one of the key reminders that you already possess all of the tools to guide and direct you in your life, whether it's wisdom, intuition, psychic skill, creativity, self-motivation, love, willpower, physical ability, or just pure courage. They're all a part of you. Once you learn to tap into and use them, you'll be amazed by the power and effect they can have. You have the ability to allow the universe to work in partnership with you. Together, you can manifest change, whatever that desire may be, and bring about a positive outcome. This card represents your ability to create your own reality, to set ideas into motion and watch them grow. This card is often drawn when you're ready to switch directions, start a new project, or change careers. Now is the time to use positive thoughts, visualizations, and affirmations as you veer away from negativity. Knowledge is power and can lead to success. By having faith, keeping your willpower strong and directed, and by tapping into the tools that you possess, as well as calling on the magic from the universe, you can accomplish anything and everything you set out to do. So they basically say the same thing. It's just that the Psychic Tarot for the Heart is obviously about relationships, and the most important relationship is the relationship you have with yourself. So we'll go from the major, because obviously I'm going to do a flip through of the cards, so I don't want it to get too redundant. Minor Arcana cards. So the other thing that's different about the Psychic Tarot for the Heart is this one also has keywords. So it has for one of Pentacles or one of emotions. We have stability, reality, grounded, and health. This one's a general. This is more of the material, like this is about prosperity, new beginnings with work and stuff. And in this one, since it's relationship, it's focusing on the relationship meaning of the card, which is strengthening bonds, which is cool. And I guess with the minor arcanas, there's no affirmations, so it's just the keywords. So that was the only thing that was added, was the keywords. I just barely read both of these books. I've had these decks for a long time. Probably this one since 2007 and this one since 2014. I started reading tarot right around 2007, and especially Oracle and especially Hay House. Hay House was my gateway drug into the tarot community and Oracle community. I really loved Doreen Virtue and I loved her decks, and they were not scary to me coming from a very Christian background. Okay, so here's the Psychic Tarot and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. So the border for the major arcana in both is black. And we have a woman starting this one with a trust. She looks like she's gonna free fall over that cliff, that you usually see on the Fool card. It's funny, usually when you do the trust fall, you fall backwards, but she's falling forward and she knows she'll be safe. It's funny, they kind of, let's see, I didn't notice it. These don't look like the same woman, but this for sure looks like they use the same face, the same man. So in the psychic, we have awareness and we have a focus on his crown chakra, especially with the energy and this circle. Here we have manifest, and he's showing his hands that he holds the power, but also his third eye and his crown are highlighted in this one. So that's pretty cool. Intuition, these are completely different in this and each deck. Again, two very different cards. We have for the Empress, we have fertility for the Psychic Tarot, and we've got these little budding branches. And for the Heart one, we have nurture, because to have love grow or anything grow, even plants, you need to nurture. You need to nurture that love. You need to nurture that plant. You need to nurture whatever it is. If you're starting a business, you have to give your attention to it. Your love, your attention, a piece of your soul, all of that. All right. For the Emperor card, it's pretty similar. We have authority and then we have lead. Somebody taking the lead. There's a dog in each one, the book. Now, it's interesting that he's separated from the people and his back is to us, where in this one, the teacher, she's facing us and the students' backs are to us. Yeah, it's just a different focus. He's looking at them to give his wisdom to them, and she is as well, but she's looking at us and she acts as a teacher to us, the card reader. It's just a different composition. It's interesting. And this one, I love that it's harmony, but of course in the heart, it's love. Pretty similar with the plants back here, and we have the here instead, and then we have the heart. I love this card because even though this says move, there's not really movement in this card. When I see this card, I always get marriage. My husband and I had a hand fasting ceremony, so we did this. We were hand fasted. We created our own ribbon or knot or what have you that we used to hand fast ourselves. Our ceremony was so beautiful. We did everything ourselves. We did our vows and we did what we wanted. And, we put a lot of ourselves and our spirituality into it. And it was really beautiful. What is power if not control? When you go into solitude or you go into hermit mode, the hermit mode is solitude, and usually you're reading or meditating. But what you really are doing in that solitude is you are seeking to find yourself. And I just really love this one because usually, if you're trying to find answers to a problem or about yourself, meditating and taking time to commune with nature, commune with whatever deity or whatever you believe in will really help you. And some people do that by reading, and some people do that by using tarot, and some people journal, and some people do walking meditation or walk labyrinths or do sound healing. There's just so many different ways to go within to tap into your subconscious or connect with your higher self and your guides, your ancestors, whomever. And this, especially with the birds flying overhead, the messengers usually, and the green and the new growth, I love this card. And what is destiny other than being in the flow? So when you are in the flow of your life and you're not fighting anything and you're going with the flow, that is kind of like being in destiny or on your path to destiny, right? Because you're not fighting anything. You're just flowing and you're taking cues from your surroundings and nature and yourself. And when you do that, it will lead you to your destiny. I like this one because it gives you all the tools of all the suits, and it states that, here, look, it's at your disposal to use. But this one's great as well with the dove of peace and realizing that there's always hope. Now, both of these decks take a card that people are like, I don't like it, the Hanged Man, and it changes it. For the psychic one, it's a sacrifice, but you have the rainbow that's telling you to have hope, have faith, and things aren't going to stay the same. It will change and change the way that you observe. So I like this, how you have the rainbow here as well, and you have the different points of view. You have the different ways of looking at the situation, because the way I view the Hanged Man is it's like change your perspective, change the way you're looking at it. It really is a matter of perspective. If you're stuck, sometimes all you have to do is just look at it from a different way, a different angle, take a different approach, but you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't really see that as a sacrifice, but If you're the type of person who's very rigid and doesn't like to try new things, then I could see it being a sacrifice. I do prefer this meaning in the tarot for the heart, because I do feel that it is about observing and then course correcting as needed. The Death card, instead of death, we have transformation and release. Now, the Temperance card, it's one of the more difficult ones for me because I'm like, So I really like how this one is broken down into patience and balance. It makes the card meaning easier to understand. And isn't this interesting that the Psychic Tarot goes along with the Devil card with temptation? And usually if you get the Devil card, it usually is about addiction, or you're caught up in negative thinking, negative thought patterns. Maybe there's major depression, and it's interesting in the Heart one, it says master. And it's almost like in the traditional deck, you can see that the Devil isn't really holding on or have the people chained up, that they're free. If they just kind of woke up or snapped out of their addiction, they would realize that they are the master of their own lives, that they have control, and that every human, every person has the ability to overcome addictive behaviors or thoughts or negativity. We just have to master ourselves. And this is interesting that the Tower, we have disruption and rebuild, which, yes, if your life has literally been obliterated and has been torn apart, then the next step is to rebuild. So I think it's interesting that they picked rebuild for this keyword for the Tower. Now for the Star, we have hope, which this kind of maybe looks like he has a star in his hand and then you see the person, because, right, like we're all stars. And this one says heal. So I find that really interesting that for the Star, they focused on the keyword of heal. And the keywords for heal in this deck are forgive, offer, receive, serenity, hope, and inspiration. Affirmation, I offer and accept healing in my relationships and I am at peace. And I don't think when I read a traditional tarot deck, I don't think of the Star as about healing. That's definitely not what comes to mind. It's hope, or that whatever project or relationship you're working on is going to work out. I don't think about healing. So this is an interesting take on the Star, I think. Now, these are the Moon cards. The shadow makes sense, and it kind of looks like there's a moon over here, the moon and the sun. And this shows the balance that, you know, we have that polarity, we have both within us. And it's interesting that on the relationship one, it says confront. So these are the Sun cards, which actually I think in my flip through of this one, I said this was the Star, so I apologize. Light, of course. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't it be the Sun? For the world, we have universe and embrace, which this is really interesting that it's embrace for the world or the universe, but that's okay. prefer the Psychic cards, the design for the chakras in the Psychic Tarot rather than the heart one. But that's just my personal preference. It's just because when I see things in my third eye, it's more like this rather than like this. So this is the comparison of the two decks. For personal use and for general readings, the Psychic Tarot is hands down the best. Like I said, the book isn't that great. I think the book might be a little bit better in the Psychic Tarot for the heart with a little bit more information. I like the keywords given for the major arcana and then the affirmations given there as well. I think that really helps with self-development because a lot of times we have a lot to heal within ourselves for relationships and we project it onto the other person and we think it's them when really it's us. And especially when we're chasing after somebody or pining after somebody and maybe they don't even know we're interested in them or they're not really the right person for us. It's really important to work on your relationship with yourself. But when I do my free one question live readings, everybody has a question about relationships, so I use the Psychic Tarot for the heart. I don't really use this deck for myself. This deck I use for myself all the time and general readings. So I hope you all enjoyed this comparison and I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Have fun and keep on shuffling.